Hi guys, it's TVP here.
It's not really, it's MF Vape, and thank you very much for joining the channel. Excuse me, Mark, for the worst impression you're ever likely to experience. But anyway, guys, we've got a RTA for you today. And this RTA was sent over for the purpose of this review from Mark Roberts, aka the Vaping Postman, and Blitz Enterprises. Now they've teamed up. Mark's done the design with a little bit of help from Blitz, and they've done the manufacturing of the RTA, and it's called the FP, otherwise known as the Fuck Pig. So here it is in all its might and glory, and as you can see, it is a bit of a beast of a tank. This one, 30 millimeters in diameter. The fuchsia was the only mod that I could find that I could fit it on. So yeah, that is that. So what we're going to do is go down low, show the packaging that the FP comes in. We're going to throw a build in it, and I'll also show you my single core build, and then we'll come back up top and I'll tell you what I think about it. Okay,
Let's fucking do this.
right, we're down at the table with the FPRTA. Here's the box that it comes in. So a nice hard box, this one. So I'm not sure if this is a sample box or not, but we have got some handy thumb inserts there to help you take the lid off. Right, so inside you'll find your FPRTA, but underneath you'll find a frosted 810 drip tip, and also your bag of spares, which includes a couple of Clapton coils and a couple of ceramic clamps. But there's no screws in my particular one, but maybe this is just a sample package. Now it also comes with a PEI, or a like plastic bubble tank, but it doesn't actually come in the box because of new TPD regulations. So this comes just in the Jiffy bag separate. And also you get your regular glass section here, which holds 5.5 milliliters of e-liquid according to Mark himself. Now I think on the website and the packaging in future it's going to say 4 milliliters, and this one 6, but this one should hold between 8 and 8.5 according to Mark. So if we have a look at the actual FP, when it comes in the box, it's totally useless because basically it's transported with a piece of glass in it, which brings it down to 2 milliliters capacity. But it's absolutely useless because basically the clamps are pushed right up against the chimney, and there's no way for the juice to actually go through to the cotton or anything. So you have to take this glass out, and this piece is just rubbish basically. Then get your other glass, or you can use your bubble glass, whatever you feel like. Try and squeeze it on, and then just put it back together like so. So now you'll notice it is like a GTA style deck. Right, so let's have a look at this in a bit more detail then. So at the top you'll notice we've got an 810 fitting Delrin drip tip. So there's the top cap, we've got the O-ring in the top, so most of your goon size fitting tips should fit in there, but bear in mind this is the depth of the drip tip, so that just plugs in like so. Let's just zoom it in slightly. Right, so on the top cap we've got the letter F, and this is just continues, so it's like knurling basically, but it stands for F for fuck, as in fuck pig. So we've got all that around the top, so you can use that to grip hold of, and it's obviously top fin in this one. So lovely threads on this, by the way. So that's the inside there. We've got the nice beefy O-ring, and then it exposes your two gigantic kidney ports. juice filling ports, I should say. But yeah, you're really not going to have any trouble filling this, but just don't fill through the center, because that's where the airflow goes. So we can screw that back on now. Right, and then you'll notice the chimney section, we've got the letters FP engraved in there, and we've got this knurled section that goes all around the chimney. You might be thinking, why the hell have we got knurling on a chimney section? Because usually you just have knurling to grab hold of things, but it does actually have a purpose. And because there's not much room between the glass and the chimney, it actually acts, it helps the juice actually like fall down to the bottom, basically. So it helps it, like, it acts like a mesh, so it's like a wicking, like a process basically, but it just helps, and it has actually been designed that way, so it does fulfill a purpose. But if we just have a look on the bottom quick, we've got FP RTA, serial number there, and designed by TVP and Blitz. And there's your gold-plated 510 pin surrounded by a peak insulator. Now that doesn't look like it protrudes very much, so I wouldn't advise using this on a hybrid mechanical device. Right, so onto the bottom. So on the top we had the F, and on the bottom we got the P, which stands for pig. So we've got 3 P's there, 3 more there, and then obviously we've got the airflow control. So if we just close it fully off, it does stop in that position there. And if you twist it clockwise, it opens up the narrowest of the slots. So what you adjust on one will be the same on the other side, of course. So that's your narrowest airflow. If you keep on going, you get like the middle section of airflow, same on both sides. Keep going a little bit further, and there is your widest airflow, and you can just see right through there. Right, measurements time. Right, it's supposed to be 30 millimeters. There we go, 30 around the glass, and top to bottom with the drip tip 52.7. Just take that one off. So we got roughly 45 millimeters in height, so it's not particularly tall, this one. Right, let's have a look inside that chimney then. There you go, you got your usual banking going on. Just want to take that top cap off again. So we have got a really wide bore here. I believe it's between 9 and 10 millimeters. I have tried with my calipers, but they're playing up a little bit, but it's definitely quite wide anyway. I'll just put the base on my ATI stand here, the ATI dot that you can buy from ati.co.uk, I believe. Right, so here is the base then. Let's just get this to focus a bit better, shall we? Right, first thing you'll notice is these 30 airflow holes. So you've got a row of 5 and 6 that way, and we just turn it on its side so you have got a nice curve going on. So yeah, your peppercorn or honeycomb airflow. We've got 2 ceramic clamps here and flathead screws. Now Mark has indicated that future batches will have Phillips, because he did not ask for these, but they didn't listen at the time, so that's what's in these initial batches. Now we've got a positive and a negative side. So this side here, I believe this is the positive. No, it's this side here. You can just see we've got peak insulator that goes around it, this side, and then it also starts again round here, and it basically separates the negative, which is these 2 parts here. So basically that means you can do dual core with your core mounted here, sharing this clamp, and the other core on this side sharing this clamp, or you can do a single core with your coil in the center, and you'd have one leg there, one over there, or one leg there and one over there. So very versatile deck. Now he's using ceramic as well, because he did find that when he was just using normal metal, it was getting too hot, the RTA. And so he chose ceramic, and there's no problem with degrading or anything like that, because this is special coated ceramic, and they do work very well. Right, so we've got these. This is where your cotton goes. So it is a GTA style deck, because it's basically raised off the base. So your cotton goes through these holes here, and basically I just have it so it's just underneath this part here, the deck. You don't really want it all the way to the bottom, because you could run into wicking issues. But yeah, so that's a good look around the deck. So I think it's time to put a build in it now. Right, before we put a build in, I just want you to see it on some of my devices. Now, this is the Fushai Duo 3, and it does accommodate a 30mm with a couple of mil to spare. So that's that. We've got the mod-defined Lyra. Now, you'll notice with this one, we've got a very slight overhang, because I think this can only accommodate 28s, but when it's on there, you can't really notice it. There's just a little lip. And I've also got another mod here. Got the Geek Vape blade. Now, this would accommodate it nicely, but if it wasn't for this beveled section here, so you can just see we've got a couple of mil of overhang, but like I say, if that just came out a little bit further, it would fit it nicely. So that's what it looks like on those three devices. Obviously, if you've got a G-Class or the Smoant Cylon, something like that, it will accommodate a 30, no problems at all. Right, for today's build, we've got some coils that I purchased from the Vapor Depot. We've got some tricore fused Claptons here, 3x26 gauge Nichrome 80, and we've got a 38 gauge Nichrome 80 outer wrap. These are 3mm in a diameter. So first things first, we need to unscrew these screws on the clamp post here. So we've got no springs or anything on here. They just raise like so. It's a good idea to get it as close to the post as possible, the coil. But if you just grab those legs like that, it makes it a little bit easier. Right, so they're now glowing evenly from the inside out, so we can let that cool down and then we can put some cotton in. Right, so here's a little single core build that I've done. This is a 4mm inner diameter core. So basically you can put like double the amount of cotton that you normally put in. So it's easier with the larger inner diameter core. But you can use 3mm, but you'll have to really floof out your cotton and make sure that you're filling out these juice wells here. Right, we're back up top with the FP by TVP and Blitz Enterprises. Right, what do I think of this then? Right, we're going to build quality and the fit and finish of this particular tank first. Now, it's really good. It really is. It looks stunning to me. Even the black version looks really nice as well. I'll put a little caption on the screen for you. But yeah, the threading on the top cap, it's just a joy to use. It does take a number of turns, but it just sits on there and does have no problems at all. You can unscrew it. It's got the knurling on there with the F's on top. It's very easy to undo, so those with dexterity issues shouldn't have a problem. Now, the airflow control ring, it spins very nicely, but there is a little bit of resistance, but you can do it on the mod, which is always a pro in my book. But yeah, the build quality, everything is just machined very well. There's no sharp edges or anything like that. Yeah, so build quality and the fit and finish definitely gets a thumbs up. Now, I'm not sure that everyone's going to appreciate the knurling on the chimney section, but I think it looks really good, especially with the FP engraved on there. It gives it a nice contrast from the actual knurling. So yeah, and it's not too in your face because it's just all stainless steel on here, so there's no in your face logos. But yeah, the black one, I believe you can see the FP like in stainless. So maybe if they just made it all black, that might make it look less in your face. But some people like it like that. So that's just something to be pointed out. Now, the build deck on here, it's really well machined again. It uses the ceramic posts, which some people might not be too happy about because of, you know, the idea that ceramic can like emit like particles into the e-liquid or anything, but it's a special coated ceramic, so you're not going to have any issues with that at all. And the clamps work really well, especially with those beefy flathead screws that come with it. That's another sore subject actually, because TVP did ask for Phillips screws and they went along with flatheads anyway, but they have said that for the next batches they're going to include some Phillips screws in there, so that's a good thing, because using flatheads, for me, I find it's a pain in the ass to work with, especially if I'm building live on camera, so it'd be good to see that in the package. Right, yeah, the O-ring tolerances are very good on this too. Yes, we have the bubble tank. I have used it in this mode, but it is made out of a plastic, so I would like to see this in a glass version. And again, I think Mark has promised that later batches will have a glass one of these. Now, this holds, I think it was 8.5 milliliters, Mark said, but on the packaging, on the retail version, I think it's going to say 6. And the main tank's allegedly supposed to hold 4, but Mark said it's more like 5.5, 5.6. So that's definitely a pro in my book. But I just think it looks really good in this straight glass version, and it's more than enough e-liquid for me. Right, let's have a little toot, a little vape break, shall we? Right, I've got a 0.12 build, those tricore fuse that I got from Vapor Depot in here, and I've got it at 96 watts on the Fusha. So here we go. That's with the airflow wide open as well on there. And while we're at it, we might as well do a grading for the airflow, because I know Mark likes to do it. But I'll just show you the bubbles on there, just see if you can see it, because it really does work well, this one. But yeah, this has got a little bit of restriction to it. Now, I would say it's only like an 8 out of 10 for even on the widest setting. But yeah, it's very smooth though, the airflow is on this, as you'll expect, because we've got 30 of those honeycomb holes underneath the cores. So even though this looks like a gigantic air hole, it's being like diffused by all of those holes, so you get a really smooth vape on here. Right, let's just crank it across to the middle hole setting, and we'll just knock the wattage down slightly. 90 watts. Still very smooth airflow. Go on to the smallest setting. You'll have to knock the wattage down a little bit for this one, I reckon. I'll put it on to 75. Yeah, so it's still smooth. All across the board it's very smooth, but for me, I like to rock it wide open with this one with a little bit more wattage, because it does bring out the flavour more, in my opinion. Now, let's just crank it right up to see what this can really do. Right, 130 watts. Here we go. That's a little bit too warm for me, but this thing can cope with it. You can see all the wicking holes on here. If you wick it correctly, follow what I did down low, you're going to have no dramas. But I find it best between like 80 and 100 watts, so put it down to 95 again. Yeah, so the airflow on here is really smooth. You're getting oodles of vapor. You can just see it, you cloud the room out in seconds using this particular tank, and it is a little bit thirsty. You can see the liquid going down, but you're going to expect it when you're putting like humongous cores in a tank such as this. But easy to take the top cap off and refill, so not a problem for me. But right, let's get on to a couple of cons though, shall we? Right, I have noticed in my package, I don't know if it's a sample package or not, there is no 510 drip tip adapter in it. I'm not sure how many of you out there are actually going to use one, but it hasn't actually got one in it. So that's a little subjective con. Now the deck, it's very nice. You know, the clamp down the leads very nice as well, but it is a little bit tricky. If I was using my coily tool, pre-cutting my legs, what I was finding was, I find it really hard to do because you've sort of got to get it on the coiling rod and you've got nothing to hold on to on the other side. So for me, it works best if you just leave your legs long and then hold it on the other side, such as Mark did on his actual original video. And then you can put it as close into the clamps as possible, and it's just easier to do it like that way, because then you use the other hand to tighten it down. Because what I've found was, if you just use it on a rod without holding onto the ends, it can slip out, the legs can slip out either side. So yeah, that's just something to be pointed out there, that it might not be one for you complete beginners of rebuilding, but it does work very well. But like I say, it's easier if you just leave your legs long, in my opinion. But anyway, let's have one more toot and then we'll get on to the most important question, which is flavour. Oh, that airflow and the vape quality you get from this is so good. Well, to be honest, you're getting a more full-bodied vape with this one. You can do it at higher wattages because you've got the bigger chamber. And because of that, you are getting some really fantastic flavour from this device. And I'm not just saying that because I do know Mark. We've had beers before at vape shows. I've been on his hangouts and stuff like that. But I'm not going to lie on this channel. You ask anyone who's got it, this really does give very good flavour. So it definitely gets a thumbs up for that from me. So I'm not sure what else I can say about this, but I think Mark really did knock it out the park with this one. So big thumbs up to TVP and Blitz Enterprises. This really is going to be a winner in my opinion. So if you did enjoy the video, guys, please give it a little thumbs up. It really does help with the analytics of the channel. And if you're new to the channel and you like what you see, please consider subscribing too, and make sure you hit the little bell notification, and it will keep you notified of all my latest reviews. I've also got my own website too. It's mfvape.co.uk, and you can find me on social media. We've got Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. So until next time, guys, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you again very soon. Okay, cheers.